Good afternoon. I'm Onisa Klein here at GBTA Convention here at the broadcast studio. And with me this afternoon, all the way from Germany, way of New York, is Tobias Ragge, who is the CEO of HRS. Tobias, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Monisa.
Welcome.
Yes,
I hope it's
thank
a
you.
good convention. I know it's just getting started, but hopefully a lot of customers that you'll get to interact with. It's great to have
Well,
you.
looking forward to it. It's great to meet in person again with everybody after all the pandemic and all the things we have behind ourselves as an industry. And so I'm really looking forward for the next 2 to 3 days and having a lot of engaging conversations with customers and potentially partners.
Excellent. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. HRS Lodging as a service platform is increasingly deployed by corporations as they integrate more technology, artificial intelligence, driven science, and technology into their everyday management of their hotel programs. Tell us more how HRS platform, how this platform approach benefits the corporate hotel programs and the use of this technology. So expand on that.
Love to do this. So, I think the industry has been built around a paradigm of booking travel is all it is. And we have been thinking about it from day one to say we need to look broader than beyond the transactional point. So we look at the procure to pay value proposition, an integrated end-to-end approach of proprietary technology, which ultimately derives level 4 data insights along this customer journey. What does the level 4 data help us to do? Because, through the use of AI and the capabilities that you today have with technology, we're able to improve, for example, costs on the one hand side, but that's table stakes, I would say today. More important is traveler experience, the personalization elements, that we're able to feed the right program within the boundaries of a corporate strategy to the individuals and to make sure that they stay in the managed channel and don't leak out, which I think is a big challenge for today's program. And then on the other side, also trying to mitigate risk for corporations, because there's more and more regulatory scrutiny, as we all know, talking about sustainability, talking about, EU sanction lists, money laundering. So the list gets bigger and bigger, and also tax fraud. I mean, there's more and more challenges for corporate leaders today. And we want to make use of the capabilities to mitigate those risks and then drive value for the corporations.
Right. You talked about personalization, which I think is so important. And I think the key is taking what can be very complex and making it easy, right? Streamlining. So HRS GBTA just issued a detailed report that talks about the challenges of silos in corporate travel management operations, transient meeting departments. I mean, this is an issue for many, many years, right? Oftentimes they're not aligned, right? We've got a lot of different silos and different groups in a company that have competing agenda. And I know that HRS sees this as an opportunity for what you call convergence. So tell us more about how new technology enables and provides cost savings from convergence.
Right. So, the whole idea behind convergence is that, the pandemic has also unfortunately brought to the industry a big labor shortage on the one hand side, on the supply side, which led to the fact that a lot of suppliers were only occupying the inventory up to 80%, which helped also for the supply side to drive up the ADR and the cost per room night, which on the other hand side is for the corporate buying community a bigger problem, because at the end of the day, they need a budget for their costs and they need to manage the costs. So, and our idea was to say, okay, can we not combine these two elements? On the one hand side, to bundle volumes in the buying process from the corporations, so break apart the silos to say there's transient travel, there's group travel, there's meetings, there's extended stays, bring it all together and then bring this as a bundled approach to the suppliers, because with this leverage increase, we're able to drive down unit costs on the one hand side, but on the other hand side, also reduce the operating costs for the supplier community, because today, to your point, they are managing these in silos. And I think also over time, we realize that these silos will go away. And so our personal take on this is we think through the approach of convergence, we're able to drive more value for both sides of the market, and we've seen it. So the customers we did this with on a global scale were able to reduce the cost by 16% in the meeting spend category when they were bundling the supply. And what's interesting is that 50% of the supply which is being used for transient is also being used for the meeting space. So there's a lot of overlay, and I think to drive this together and help bundle is a smart way of driving benefits for both sides of the market, and that's what we're doing in this approach.
Smartly leveraging, right?
Exactly.
It's a really win-win for everybody,
Yes, exactly.
which is great. Well,
Exactly.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So HRS continues to be an industry leader when it comes to helping hoteliers and corporate hotel program leaders implement sustainable options in their lodging programs. Your Green Stay initiative continues to win awards and introduce automation to support a greener hotel ecosystem. Share your views on the state of the progress in sustainable hotel hosting and why all parties need to increase their sense of urgency on this topic.
Yeah, thank you for this question. I think, when we're here in Dallas with 110
so hot.
degrees outside, I think we can all agree climate warming is a reality. And I think it's our responsibility as an industry, which is also associated with probably 10 to 15% of global emissions, the way you look at it, that we deal with it proactively, right? And that we're taking care of our responsibility. And on the other hand side, when we think about not just us as an industry, but also the buying community, I mean, 70% of global emissions are coming from the Fortune 500 companies. So I think we together have a tremendous amount of responsibility. And this is why at some point we said, okay, we need to build something that creates transparency first and foremost about the sustainability footprint of an overnight stay. And so we started to collect a lot of data on a global scale from the properties in order to be able to report on water, waste, and energy consumptions to make up a CO2 emission reporting per room night. And we now have a presence in over 170 countries globally with this initiative. 7 out of 8, the 11 leading global chains are all contributing their data, and we're very thankful for their collaboration on this. And now we're bringing this data to the buying community, the procurement professionals, to help them make better informed choices, but also to make sure that the investment the supplier community is taking into this is being rewarded, because at the end of the day, we have to understand sustainability and CO2 emissions will result into a cost. And this cost will be passed on to the industry. And that's why right now it's about reporting that data, creating transparency. And then the next iteration, what we're working on is how can we help create net zero programs? How can we not only reduce, but basically remove all of the emissions? And last fact, what a lot of people are not aware of is that in lodging, you have a choice, because when you go to the city of Dallas, you have, a few hundred suppliers. So you can actively influence the CO2 footprint per stay. Whereas when you fly from New York City to Dallas, there's not too many options that you can choose from. And it's usually the aircraft type that has an influence on the emission spend. So lodging is the area where you have the choice, and that's why we said we're going to double down and invest into this. And we're very proud that a lot of corporations are now demanding this from also the supply community to help us create that transparency. And it's not about, basically making the information as a weapon against them. It's about creating transparency, because I think a lot of suppliers are investing a lot in creating much better sustainable results, and to creating that transparency also to the booker community, which is today a lot of Gen Z people who are very much looking to have that information, is, I think, very helpful for the industry. And that's why we're so eager to continue to work on this, and are thankful for everybody who helps us in promoting it in the markets.
Excellent. Sustainability and helping people, what gets measured gets managed.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And that sounds like you're really pushing that. And I think the point that you made, the impact that this industry has on global emissions is huge, right? So Tobias, thank you so much. Any closing remarks for this audience of 4,000, 5,000 people that are here in Dallas?
Well, thank you.
Converging?
Yes, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. And I think, this industry is entering in post-pandemic into a new phase where technology will become the major driver and the catalyst for change for a better future, I think. But it will also ask us to collaborate more in the industry. So everybody who is part of the industry has to have, I would say, a better way of collaborating. That's why this event is so important for all of us, to let's make use of it and encourage everybody to collaborate to build a better future together.
Convergence.
Convergence, here we go.
Convergence.
There it is again.
Tobias, thank you so much
You're
for being
welcome.
with us today. Really appreciate your time. Hope you have a great convention here this week in Dallas.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Monisa Klein here at the GBTA Broadcast Studio.